And we are back here on Metal Nation Radio. I am Rustin Rose, a.k.a. Metalholic, and with us tonight, the man, the myth, the legend. Am I building you up big enough? Howard Jones of The Devil You Know. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, but yeah, myth and legend? Wow.
Hey, you know. So there is a whole lot going on in your world right now, and not long ago, you were sort of kicking back with all of this sort of in your rear view. Are you surprised by the response people have had to the band so far?
There's been a response. Hey, I have no idea. I'm not internet savvy, so but hey, if people are into it, awesome.
Well, so far, everything that I've seen and heard, everybody's digging the music that they've heard so far, and everybody seems pretty excited. I mean, obviously, you guys are going to be going out on the Revolver Golden Gods tour, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but let me take it back to the beginning a little bit. When John Sankey and Francesco Artusato, if I pronounced that correctly, contacted
you got it.
Where was sort of your headspace at the time, and what ultimately pushed you to climb on board?
Dude, I was done. I didn't think I was doing music again, but I heard the demo and just the music, and I liked it. But then I was like, okay, I'm done now. Just set it aside. And then I picked it up again a little later, and I was like, okay, I should probably meet these guys. That's how it started.
I'm sure they were sort of skeletons, but what were one or two of the songs they originally sent you?
Yeah, I mean, apparently they were gunning for me, so, awesome. But, yeah, I really didn't think I was going to be doing anything. But once I picked it up and said, okay, I'll meet these guys, I figured, okay, maybe I'll just do like a studio album, something like that. I'm not going to go on tour again. Wrong. Yeah, here I am.
So the one thing that I haven't seen anywhere yet, and the fans always want to know, and this is the question that was sent in to me, is there a story behind the band name?
Yeah, I came up with it. Like, basically sometimes I suck, and that's how I came up with the name. Seriously, there you go.
Now, you guys tapped Logan Mader to produce. Was that sort of a band decision or a label decision? What was the process like working with him?
Oh no, he got interested in it, and yeah, it just went from there. That dude is awesome. He basically helped kind of shape what the album became, and yeah, he went from just like producer to friend. And then when we got done doing the album, yeah, we went to Mexico and went fishing.
Well, and you guys have rounded out the band now. Did they perform on the album at all? If not, who did the bass work and such like that?
No, it's Fran, John, and me. We did the whole album.
Wow. Impressive. And it turned out fantastic, obviously. Was it a good feeling to get back in the studio and create after 5 years?
At first, I was thinking, I really don't want to do this. But then, yeah, once we got in there and started working, it was like, oh, yeah, I used to do this a lot. And so, yeah, it worked out fine. And like I said, and Logan was awesome. And, yeah, we had a blast.
You sort of joked that if there is a theme in The Beauty of Destruction, the new album, it's the story of your life for the last 6-7 years. And then when you listen to the album, the first song released is 7 Years Alone. The album opener is A New Beginning. Was writing for this album a bit cathartic for you?
Yeah, you can basically put it that way. Like, I really didn't think of it like that, but yeah, when I look back at it now, it's like, wow, it really was like therapeutic, and it really is a snapshot of my life.
Having gone through all that, have you had any sort of epiphanies or anything after you've created this album with the guys?
No, we've talked about it, and they were like, dude, these songs are like pretty deep. It's like, what were you thinking? I'm like, wasn't even thinking. It's like what I went through, but yeah, I said, if you want to know about me, read the lyrics. It's all there.
Right, and you can really you can really sense a lot of feelings going on in there. There's some anger, some angst, even some hope I found in a few places. So, it was sort of exciting to hear all that. Now, you guys wrote upwards of, I think, 36 songs for this debut. And first albums are sort of difficult as you're developing a band's signature, and there's a lot of variety on this record. But is there maybe one song on the album you can point to that is perhaps maybe a template of what The Devil You Know is all about?
Wow, that's a good question. I really don't know, because these songs are just different. I mean, and actually, I sang more on this album than I've ever done. But wow, template, man. I don't know. You know what? I honestly don't think there is, because all the songs are so different.
Right.
But as far as me, the last song is "Surprise of the Darkness." That song is basically what my life was. It's like, if you want to know what I went through, read those lyrics. That's my life. But as far as a template for the band, oh man, no clue. That album is all over the place.
True. Now, the album art on this is amazing. How did you guys connect with Travis Smith, and did you guys have any input on it, or did you just sort of leave it all to him?
No, basically said, hey, can you work with us? And this is, name the band, name the album, and he came up with the idea. We saw like the first working of it, and it was like, this is awesome. This dude rules. That's why so many people use him. Yeah, dude, we didn't have to do much of anything. That guy rules.
Yeah, it turned out fantastic. Now, I got to tell you, one of my favorite bands that I've been listening to over the last decade or so is Within Temptation. I was so excited, because that's Within Temptation sort of out of left field for you, that you appeared on the new album for the track Dangerous.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction when they reached out to you?
I was like, "Oh, are you kidding? Heck yeah, I'm going to do this." And it just kind of worked out. And what's funny is that basically they wanted someone who could, like, scream and stuff like that. They wanted me to do a lot of screaming, and once I heard the song, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Well,
I'm going to sing on this." It just worked.
It does. It works so well. And I recently chatted with Sharon, and she said the band had been expecting sort of your trademark harsh vocals, and they were pleasantly surprised when they got the song back, and it was, the very clean and melodic vocals that really elevated the song. So you sort of
That's
knew
awesome.
You sort of knew from the start then you were going to sing clean after you heard it and said, yeah, this isn't going to work with the harsh stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like, once I heard it, I was like, yeah, this doesn't need screaming on it. Screw this. And it just worked out. And man, I'm so lucky that those guys wanted to work with me. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks on the album. So now you also appeared on an Asking Alexandria track from their most recent album. The track was Until the End. How did that come about?
Man, they reached out to me. As really, a couple of guys in the band are like, they liked what I did in Killswitch, and so I was like, sure, I'll do it. yeah. For some reason, I've sang on a lot of bands' albums. I don't know how that happens, but it just happens.
So I wasn't that far off with the man, the myth, and the legend. You're not giving yourself enough credit here is what's going on. So
yeah, you got to stop that.
I'm spreading these rumors. So now you guys already did Soundwave and everything. You've gotten your feet wet a little bit, but you guys are getting ready to hit the road in April on the Revolver Golden Gods tour with Black Label Society down in Butcher Baby's big tour. It's a pretty nice tour to get your feet wet.
Yeah, I still don't even know how that happened. It just did. Yeah, they told me, it's like, hey, you're touring with a Black Label Society. And I'm like, what? That's awesome. Zach is the man. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, but hey, I'm happy.
Nice, and of course your buddy Phil and Down and everything. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, and I got to hang out with Phil a little bit, and in Australia, and he's still hilarious.
Now, how many tracks from the album do you think we're going to get to hear on this tour?
You know what? I don't know. Yeah, wow, we haven't even discussed that, but hopefully a few. We'll see what happens.
Well, you guys will actually get to be the main support slot on a few of the dates, because Down won't jump on until a little later in the tour, and they jump off early, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we're main support for like half the tour. Like I said, I don't know how that happened, but okay.
Well, while in Killswitch, you had some health problems related to diabetes and a heavy tour schedule. You're about to hit the road to break out the new band. Are you feeling like you're in a better place now and can sort of merge your health with the rigors of the road?
Oh, dude, I feel fantastic. Yeah, and all that stuff is behind me. Yeah, I feel great, and plus, so when I was with those guys, I was very depressive and bipolar and all that, prescription medications, they definitely help, and I feel good.
And of course, if I remember correctly, it's the Killswitch Engage version of Dio's Holy Diver is actually going to be one of the few songs that was pre-recorded that's going to appear on the new Ronnie James Dio tribute album. You pretty excited about that?
I had no idea that was going to happen. Yeah, this is the first I've heard of it.
I mean,
oh, that's awesome.
You sort of would have thought that they would have had a new band do it, because most of the tracks on there are newly recorded, but I think of all the ones that are on there, the one that you did with Killswitch is the oldest cover that's on there. I thought that was pretty exciting that they chose to pick that of all the things that they could have done. So,
no, that's awesome. I had no clue.
Wow. Well, there you go. All right, a couple more quick questions then before we get out of here. This is the first opportunity in all the years I've been doing this, oddly enough, that I've actually had a chance to talk to you directly. So I'm always curious, background of music and everything. Are there 3 albums that you could give us that sort of defined your life growing up? Three albums that sort of changed your life, if you will, and they don't have to be rock and metal. It's just the 3 albums that sort of paved the way to bring you to where you are now.
Wow. Okay. Faith No More, Angel Dust, Alice in Chains, Dirt, King's X, Dogman.
Great set. I don't think anybody's given me any of those 3 before, so that's fantastic. So, just for fun, before we get out of here, I know you're a big fishing guy. Tell us your best fishing story.
Wow, best fishing story. I would say fishing in the Bahamas and catching mahi-mahi. It was about 50 pounds. It was awesome.
That's a really big passion for you, right, fishing?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Howard Jones of Devil You Know. The debut album, The Beauty of Destruction, out April 29th. Howard, it's an honor to talk with you. I look forward to meeting you face-to-face when you're here in my neck of the woods in mid-April. And
awesome.
And we'll get a chance to talk more then. Thanks so much for taking the time.
My pleasure, man.
Take care.
You got it, bro.